Hey, this is the coach, Brian Wright, here for another Coach's Corner. Today is April 1st. This month is flying by. This is ridiculous. Already went to DBX this month, had a great time in Miami, came back, and ended up going to RFA 8, Real American Freestyle. Now, I went into that really skeptical. My son was the one who made me go. He was like, this is going to be a great time. We have to go check this out. I'm like, okay, it's wrestling. I've been to wrestling before. Wrestling's good, but I was like, I don't know if these one-offs in this kind of venue is going to really work. And quite honestly, I was shockingly surprised at how entertaining it was. The co-main event with Kyle Schneider was an amazing comeback. He's going into the third period. I believe he was down by 6. He ends up winning by 3. It was amazing to see such a decorated wrestler like that be tested by a young guy who came from one of the stand countries, came in, looked like he was putting on him, but Schneider just kept grinding and the guy ran out of gas and Snyder just applied the pressure, and then won. It was beautiful. Those are the inspirational stories that we come to combat sports for. Some people want to just see people get hurt. I'm not one of them. I want to be entertained and I want to see people overcome. That's what the beauty and the drama of combat sports is for me. So in April of 2026, I've been to a UFC, I've been to an RFA, I've been to a DBX, I've been to amateur shows, and I've got to say that in 2026, this is the most fun time I've had in combat sports for a very long time. For the past 10 years, it's been pretty much a UFC world, but in this moment, we've got a lot of other things coming around. You've got RFA with flames and pyrotechnics and world-class wrestlers putting on a show. You have USC athletes crossing over into RFA, which is interesting because so many guys that do go to the MMA route are high-level wrestlers. To see them to be able to come in and just wrestle is great. It's a lot of fun. And then you've got DBX, which is its own sport. You do have guys that have come out of the UFC or aspiring to go to the UFC or have used DBX even as a stepping stone to get noticed by the UFC, been putting on great shows. Then you've got, besides that, you've got overseas, you've got one, okay, putting on good shows, but they're really struggling with money. I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. Glory, they pretty much are burning through capital and they're only popular in a very small niche market in Europe. But then you've got Ryzen. Ryzen in Japan is putting on a phenomenal product. Reminds me very much of the mid-level new upstart shows in the United States where high entertainment value, really good matchmaking. They're bringing in some names. They're bringing in guys that are on the way out, on the way up, and the Japanese are handling them. And that's really interesting. Then you've got K1, which is making another comeback. Kazuo Ishii took his brand back and he's putting on really high-level kickboxing shows that we're really not aware of here in the United States. But over in Japan, they're putting on big shows, selling out arenas, and letting K1 Rules make a comeback. So 2026 is the year of TKO Group and the UFC. Between the UFC, now you've got Zuffa Boxing, you've got UFC BJJ, but you've also got all the other things around it. You've got the Craig Jones Invitational. You've got ADCC still doing its thing. Grappling in the Professional Grappling Federation. You've got the PGF. They're doing their thing. So you've got a lot of people that are creating pockets of value in the market right now for combat sports in a much more diverse way than I've seen in years past. There's just so much content out there. There's not a weekend that goes by that besides the UFC, there's something else to watch between the PFL and RAF and all this stuff. It's wild. It's a great time to be a combat sports fan. And I highly advise everybody to not get into the UFC only mentality and realize there are great athletes everywhere. The UFC has this sense of being the best just because it's the largest, it's the most well-known, it's the one that's really developing the true stars with infrastructure behind it. But there are a lot of very talented athletes telling really great stories and putting on dramatic performances all over the place. And a lot of these shows they're not going to be UFC level because they don't have the billions of dollars behind them. But I see people that are running shows more financially responsible than a lot of regional stuff has in the past. And you've got, probably another decade of variety out there. There's more opportunity for wrestlers to continue their career post-college without having to give up wrestling and go in MMA. You've got kickboxers that don't have to go in MMA. They can go to K1. They can go to Rizin. They can even go to Glory. They can go to One. There's more opportunities for them. So it's not just a UFC MMA mentality anymore. You have opportunities for athletes that can stay in their sport. You've got boxing has more opportunity because of Zuffa Boxing. No matter how you feel about it, Zuffa Boxing is offering a league format where guys you never would have heard of before are going to be able to develop a name, and they're going to be able to get fights consistently. And who knows, those may be the champions of the future for us. Then you've got DBX has this hybrid format that's creating its own storylines and its own stars. They're on the verge of clearly breaking through with some kind of TV deal. You've got RAF, which is the driving force behind Fox Nation. Wrestlers are now getting paid post-college to continue their careers when not that long ago, wrestling programs are being shut down left and right because they felt that wrestling just didn't have the financial stability to keep the athletic programs going in this scholastic environment. But yeah, 2026, different time, really good time to be a fight fan. And I just highly advise everybody to go and take a look at these different things. Professional Grappling Federation is another one. They're running a real grappling league. They're running a full season. They have teams. They have money behind them. They're broadcasting on YouTube. They'll probably end up on a TV channel soon. They're taking grappling to a whole different level of organization. How far does it go? I don't know. CJI throwing tons of money to make the dream matchups happen. So again, we can't really complain about the opportunities as fans because we're seeing more action than we've ever been able to see. And we're seeing more dream matchups come together between boxing, kickboxing, grappling, MMA, all of it. So yeah. So sitting here in April of 2026, I'm really interested how the rest of the year is going to play out. The UFC is going to do what it does. I think the White House card is a lot better a card than people are giving it credit for. I think Pereira and Gane is the price of admission. No matter what, having Ilia Topuria come back, that's great. I think the star power in the UFC will start to get rebuilt again. It got a little bit of a flat feeling. Ticket sales clearly show that. The MMA media has been dumping heavily on the UFC since the Paramount deal. I think a lot of that is just because of weird political leanings of journalists. But if you look at it from a purely objective entertainment perspective, we have a huge 6 months ahead of us of big fights in a lot of different organizations and just a lot of fun as a fan. So this is the coach. I'm really looking forward to how the rest of this year is going to play out. And I'm curious to what your opinion about that is too. So like, comment, share, help me keep the page going. This is the coach, Brian Wright. I'm out. Peace.